Hey guys, this is Christopher, and in this FreeCAD tutorial I'm going to show you how to use the part design and part workbenches to make three-dimensional objects out of two-dimensional sketches from the Sketcher workbench. So although you could use the Sketcher workbench to create a sketch, there's also create new sketch button here right in the part design, and if you click on it you select the plane. It's a little bit different. You can actually select in the 3D rather than in the dialog box or over here. And I'm just going to do it in the XY. It's not a big deal for simple extrudes though. Anyway, it automatically took us to the Sketcher workbench, and now we can go ahead and sketch up a simple part to extrude. So now that we have our sketch fully defined and it's all constrained and dimensioned, we can close the sketch and it will take us back to the part design, and we can make a three-dimensional object out of it. So if we go ahead and click on the pad button, it will create a 3D object out of this. Now, because we only have one sketch, it assumes that that's the one we're using, but if you had multiple you would have to specify. But since we only have one, we're using this sketch, and now it wants to know some things. The most common type of pad would just be the dimension, but you can also do different things to get a different length on your pad that you don't have to specify a specific number. But if you have one part here like this, you're probably just going to do something like that. Just set a dimension, and then it will extrude that dimension. So our sketch is 1 inch high, and now it's a solid object instead of a sketch. Now we can actually still access our sketch by opening the body, opening the pad, and editing the sketch inside will change the pad on the outside, which will change everything above it. So if we double click on that, we could change a dimension here, and now our hole is a little bit smaller in the side. And that will work even after you edit this part more and more and more. You can still go back and edit your first sketch if you need to. So that is one way to make a part. There are different kinds of extrudes, and all of these kinds of extrudes also have removes that are equal. Basically, instead of adding material, it removes material from your part. So you can also do something similar in the part workbench. If I come here and just delete, if you just click on it and press the delete key, you can delete that pad, and now we just are back with our sketch. And if you come into the part workbench, you can see there's different tools here, but there is still an extrude tool. It's a little bit different, but if you click on it and type your dimension along and hit OK, we have to select the shape first. There. Now we have a part, just like we did before. So if you can do the same thing with both workbenches, why is that? The reason... deleted the entire thing. Oh, there it is. Okay. So the reason is because if you look at the part design workbench, most of the things here are for creating 3D objects or removing them out of sketches. So turning two-dimensional into three-dimensional. The part workbench is a little bit different. A lot of the tools are used for already existing three-dimensional parts. So you can't start with a sketch with some of these, although a lot of these you can. So that's the difference between the part and the part design This is mostly used for editing already three-dimensional parts, and this is used for creating three-dimensional parts. Although you can kind of do both on both. So, normally you're probably going to use the part design here for a pad like this though. So, now you have your part. I'm going to go over one more type of extrude in this tutorial. This is just the regular linear pad extrude. But if we delete that and instead choose the revolve extrude, this is completely different. Now, we still have our sketch. If we look at it from the front, from here, our sketch would be right here. And it's revolving it around this axis, which we can change the axis to anything. So, this way is a little easier to tell what's happening. If our sketch is right here, then you can see it revolves it around these this axis that we chose and creates like that. We could change the angle. Now we've got half. That's even easier to see what it's doing. You can see the cross section of half of it here is our sketch. We could make it smaller. And this is a really great tool because you can do things you wouldn't be able to do with the regular linear extrude. There's no way you'd be able to make this part without a revolve. You wouldn't be able to just extrude this up and cut that out because you've got this circular section. So those are the two main types of extrudes, the linear and the revolve. And they're both also in the part. Here's a linear, here's a revolve. But normally from a sketch you're going to be using the part design workbench to create your 3D models. So, I hope you learned a lot from this video. I hope that clarifies some things on how to create parts from sketches. And if you found this video to be useful, please like and subscribe.